Yo, we are back, and I just wanted to tap in with you guys real quick and do something a little bit different for this video because we are on the brink of something amazing for Tiny Rogues. Now, if you own the game, the beauty of Steam is that you are allowed to see the patch notes, and the developers who created Tiny Rogues have done such a wonderful job of keeping us in the loop of everything that's coming up for the latest update. And the big news that's come out recently is that the latest major update to the game, 0.1.9, is actually dropping on December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, and the changes are insane. So I just wanted to take this time in this video to highlight some of the things that I'm looking forward to most to get everybody prepped, excited, surprised, and just hyped for what's coming for this game. I've said in a bunch of my videos that what I love most about this game is just how quickly it's growing and how much fun it is with each update to grow with it. And some of the things that I mentioned in my videos that I was really looking forward to and hoping that I would see in the game are actually gonna happen. So let's kick things off here with what's on the public test realm. I thought this was really cool, this new system that's being added called the Sender system. There are 16 modifiers being added to the Sender system. All 16 modifiers are difficulty modifiers, making the game harder in a variety of ways. Now, I thought about this and kind of compared it to like elite mobs in like a Diablo 3 where they have different things they can do. They have like laser beams or lifesteal or lightning or arcane beams. There's just like something different about them. But of course with this, it's going to be on the level of your entire run. There are going to be things that set the difficulty even higher. It's almost like when you beat, I can compare it to Diablo 3 as well. You beat the game and then there's like past the standard difficulties, there's a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, all the way up to, however many tiers you can get to in a Diablo 3. It just makes the game more and more difficult, so you can push yourself beyond the standard difficulty. Because once you beat Death and you beat Megadeth in this game, there isn't a lot going on as far as the core difficulty is concerned, and then it just becomes a personal challenge of, well, let me try and beat it with this character, and let me try and beat it with that character. There needs to be something in the game to spice it up even more, and that's what it looks like this Cinder system is going to be. So I'm really, really excited to see what comes of this. And then, in addition to that, there are crazy changes that are coming to shrines. So blood shrines completely reworked. They're now called blood altars and grant special amped rewards if you choose to inflict 1 heart damage to yourself. So the damage inflicted can be lethal and will now damage soul hearts, armor, and normal hearts. That's the big bummer here, is sometimes you'd be like, oh, okay, I'll take a little bit of regular damage to my normal hearts, but I still have my soul hearts, I still have my armor. It's cool, it's whatever. And it also triggers Death Defy and revives, which is kind of sweet because you're like, okay, I want to have X number of hearts again. I have like half a heart left from a previous boss fight. Let me just eat that and then it'll trigger my Death Defy and I'll come back with more health. Curses were already implemented in the last patch, but now curse shrines also display the negative modifier they will apply. That is super helpful too, because some of the negative modifiers for curse like really aren't that bad. Like 10% gold found, minus 10% gold found is like kind of whatever. Blacksmith whetstones also have the ability now to upgrade melee weapons to level 4. That is such an amazing addition. And I remember the developers were talking about melee weapons getting a buff. They just needed a little bit of extra love. We all know that the illegal gun parts can push your gun to level 4, so now the blacksmith whetstones can push melee up as well. I think that is really awesome. The healing a heart at the nurse also now costs 5 instead of 10. 10 was a little pricey for 1 gold, so I'm happy that that's been changed. The Golden Desert Eagle change I love as well. Now doesn't grant 100% more damage dealt with the next shot, but on dash deals 100% more damage with this weapon for 1 second. So like if you have crazy high attack speed, you can squeeze in as many 100% more damage shots as you'd like. Tommy gun I always thought was kind of garbage, so I'm glad they buffed that too. But let's keep going. Talk about some more nuts changes. These next 2 sections have such crazy updates that I feel like this game is stepping into a new era, especially with this section, right? So for Public Test Realm 0.1.8e, we saw some huge changes. The first one here is a great quality of life. Listing things as common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary is just really helpful. I'm sure people who have color blindness and things like that don't want to have to deal with all the different color changes, and it's nice that they can just read it. Power gems now grant +5 is also crazy. Adding a new consumable, power shards, grants +1 to level. And I think the most important thing here from what I saw is this charm system. Applying stat bonuses while things are in your inventory is also huge, because we know up to this point there's no way to sell, and then when you pick things up and you're not using them and your inventory gets kind of bloated, you're like, why do I have this on me? Now there will be items that actually have a benefit of just holding on to it, which I think is really cool. And then these 3 consumables are really awesome as well. +1 strength for 10 rooms, +1 int growth 10 rooms, and +1 dex for 10 rooms. These are really cool because everything else has some sort of 10 room mechanic, whether it be attack speed, move speed, lightning on weapon, fire on weapon, that kind of stuff. And armories getting reworked is really helpful as well. There's always a little bit of panic sometimes where you're like, okay, I have the money to upgrade my weapon to +3. Like, will I see another armory? Will that happen? And now you know that you're guaranteed at least 4, so if you've only seen 2 or if you've seen 3, you know, okay, let me hold on a little bit longer. That next one is coming. This is also really cool. Armories will contain a guaranteed level of weapon, rarity depending on the floor, which is great. So as you move on a little bit further, it's going to be a little bit more helpful for you. This is going to be sick too. Royal Armories. So Royal Armories contain weapons 1 rarity tier higher than a normal armory would hold at that floor level. So Royal Armories also contain 4 weapon choices instead of 3. Really nice. This I'm really excited to see, the new hidden mechanic, which is called Intense Situations. Some boss phases are now marked as intense. Some enemy enchantments will now pause during intense situations. I want to see what kind of stuff pops up in those scenarios. Again, the core game loop of this is already really fun and really just like engaging, and this just sprinkles a little bit of extra spice on top of it. It's really going to open the game up and make sure that each and every session that you have when you go through your roguelike adventure, you're just going to get something fresh and new. You're not going to be asleep at the wheel, right? You're going to have to be on your toes at all times. And then, last but certainly not least, this is really what I wanted to get to. Oh, baby. The thing that I've been complaining about for, I don't know, like 5 videos now, it's coming to life. There is a new room type, pawn shop, sell weapons and equipment. Bravo. Round of applause. Thank you, devs. I needed this so badly. I walk through the game, and by the time I'm on the 7th floor, I'm just like bloated. I just got items falling out all over the place. And now to be able to get some sort of yield from those items, whether it be gold or souls, I'm not sure. I haven't been playing public test because I don't want to spoil myself. I like reading the notes, and then when I jump in being like, oh, I heard about this. Oh, I saw this. I want to go in just completely fresh. So I'm excited for December 23rd when this finally rolls out. This one's also really cool because this is one of the starting items, and to my knowledge, this did not have the ability to be upgraded. I hadn't tried it out, but a bunch of my friends who also have the game had not figured out a way to upgrade it. So now we know the Broken Hero Sword has purpose. And I'm sure it's something sick. Actually, I know it's something sick. So I follow the Tiny Rogues Twitter account, tiny_rogues. And I saw the description of the item. The developers did not spoil exactly what it looks like, but I read the description and it looks incredible. New type of dice, this is really cool too. Golden dice will re-roll the items offered in armories and re-roll and restock items offered in shops. Really nice. Sometimes you go into a shop in particular and everything that you see is garbage. And you're like, why did I choose this room? This stuff is all ass. Doppelganger change is really interesting too. So now choose which class to copy depending on the last class you've defeated death with. So it's conditional like that, and I want to see more of that and see what kind of effect it has on people's runs and how people are feeling about it. So I'm really looking forward to the feedback there. And then the balance changes. So the balance changes that I see here are really interesting, because most of what I'm seeing is just buffs and buffs and buffs. And it's really interesting because I think all of these buffs are necessary as we weave the Cinder system in, right? If you're going to add this tiered system of difficulty, like if you're going to go Nightmare 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, for your Cinders, I mean, I keep relating it to Diablo 3, but you're going to have that tiered system of difficulty. You got to juice the items and weapons that are in the game to make it more fun for people. So I see a lot of +1 armor. I see a lot of additional move speed. I see a lot of language around like, oh no, this is actually, this is actually a buff as well. So previously 15% melee damage, now 25. Previously 20%, now 30. Previously 10% crit chance, now 20. Previously 20% magic damage, now 25. We're getting those buffs, right? We're getting ourselves ready for the next iteration of this game that's going to bring us into the future and bring us one step closer to 1.0. I'm hype. I don't know if you could tell. Like, I'm really into this game. I love being able to grow with it, and I love the direction that it's going in, because most of the stuff that I've thought about for this game, where I'm like, oh, this would be helpful, that would be helpful, it's all coming to life. And it feels like the development team of Tiny Rogues is like, I mean, I know they're not, but it feels like they're watching my videos, because all the things that I'm like, this would be so much better if this, it's happening. These things are happening little by little, and it just like makes my heart skip a beat when I read these, and I'm like, oh, they're doing it. They're thinking about us, the gamers and the players, and they're making the experience that much more awesome. And also shout out to my community, because I got a comment about the actual Rainbow Staff and someone saying they had never seen it before in the game. And I'm glad the damage of Rainbow Staff is getting buffed to make it more worthy of its legendary rarity. When I had the Rainbow Staff, that was my one complaint. It's like, oh, this is really cool that it applies all these dots, but the damage is kind of trash. And I've talked about it in my videos too, of like, dots need a buff in this game. And they are getting a buff, which is super, super helpful, because we're not in rooms for a really long time. If you're dipping and dodging and good with the whole bullet hell genre, you're cleaning up all the mobs in the room in like 5 to 10 seconds. And at that point, how many dot ticks are really happening, right? You need the core damage to be high enough. Otherwise, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, because if you go with a dot build, you're trying to apply as many dots as you can and then just run around. And the longer you're running around, the higher the chances of you taking damage. So ultimately, up to this point, doing a dot build is just not worth it. You want to be glass cannoned out. You want to go into a room, just laser beam everything to the ground, right? And then just move on to the next. It just feels so much better. Knowing that King Ooze is going to have an intense situation is really, really exciting as well. And then traits. So traits have been getting tweaked too, and I didn't even think that traits needed any sort of tweaks whatsoever. So lethality is going back to being pure dex instead of previously being int dex hybrid. I always thought it being index hybrid was kind of weird, because crit hit chance just seems like a dex thing. Glass cannon now only adds half a heart of damage taken instead of a full heart. That is a huge buff to glass cannon. Huge. Taking 1.5 damage instead of taking 2 damage, bruh. Come on. I'm taking glass cannon every single time it appears. Like, what? Grenadier being changed into a nerf situation is kind of nuts. Well, it's not kind of nuts. I should say Grenadier's so good. I took it every single time I saw it, because 2-second cooldown is really, really good, and it's now 3-second cooldown. So the devs were onto us, and it was a very like, if you know, you know situation, and everyone knew. So they were probably watching a lot of footage of people playing on YouTube, and they were like, yeah, we got to do something about this. This is out of hand. But yeah, tons of changes, tons of cool things coming to the game. I am just beyond excited for everything that's coming for Tiny Rogues. And again, 0.1.9 dropping December 23rd. To the developers of Tiny Rogues, like, I mean, you're just kind of fulfilling everything that I've ever wanted for this game. I'm so excited to be part of this journey. I hope that you see this video. I hope that you see my channel. I hope that you feel the love that I exude for this title, because I'm in it for the long haul, and I'm just excited to see what comes of the game in the future. So, until then, this has been a patch note overview, a quick one, a quick read, me picking apart all the little things that I like. And if you guys like it, maybe I'll do one that's a little bit longer, a little bit more in-depth when 0.1.9 actually drops. But I thought I would mix it up a little bit and give you a little bit of my insight, my feelings toward what's on the horizon as we go into the 23rd and go into Christmas and even into the top of 2023 with a fresh update, new items, buffed items, nerfed situations, modifiers on bosses, modifiers on levels, the broken hero sword having purpose. I can't wait to see all of the cool new stuff, all the secrets that are going to be coming out of this. I'm over the moon about it. I love it. And yeah, this has been me, KB. You know my channel. Yeah, it's KB. You know me. And I will see you next time. Peace.